How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you today about BFT or Paysafe. They're the SPAC that is a payment processing company. And I want to talk about it, why I'm going to buy more, and why it kind of popped off on Friday because someone said that it could nearly triple or it could triple. So I want to talk about that, talk to you about what I think about it at the buying price now. It's moved up a lot since we started talking about it. Tell you about my average price and what I'm doing going forward. So if you guys like this, please leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already hit subscribe. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We are going to get there hopefully in the next couple days. I think we can do it. That's been my goal for a while here, so that would be awesome if you helped us along the journey. Also, if you want to be able to buy this before a lot of other people and you want to be able to trade pre-market, post-market, and get some money in the meantime, you can definitely check out the link down below to WeBull. They allow you to buy pre-market hours and post-market hours from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. as long as you're in the US, that's Eastern time. And then you also get 4 free stocks, 2 of them worth up to $1,600 each if you deposit $100. So it does help out the channel a lot. They're an affiliate of mine. Definitely check it out. It's one of my favorite platforms and the one that I invest in very heavily right now with a lot of these growth stocks. And if you haven't signed up for this too, I want to say that they told me that Monday would be the last day to get the 4 free stocks. At least that's what they tell me. Sometimes they start it up for a little bit longer, but you can see here the 14th of December is the last day to get the extra stock and get shares of Google, Facebook, Starbucks. And if you want to be able to see exactly what I'm buying and when, it's hard to update YouTube in real time, so you can check out the link down below to Patreon. We're almost up to 1,100 Patreon members, which is amazing. You can definitely check out that down below. And a lot of people are having a lot of success right now, so you can get in on the action, be able to talk with other people that are trying to find the next hot SPAC stock and maybe get in a little bit earlier than you would otherwise. We picked up a good amount of these shares, one of my larger positions in my portfolio right now, for under $13 a share. Now we were up just 15% alone on Friday. The reason that BFT went up about 15% on Friday is really, I think, from this. So some people have heard about BFT for the first time, but we also had this. This was on CNBC Fast Money, and it was the picks for December 14. Steve Grasso thinks Foley Trasimene Acquisition 2 Corp, or BFT, could triple. Now, we've been saying this for a while here. We've been talking about BFT since it was early on. Pretty much, I think we were one of the first 2 YouTubers maybe talking about this. And since then, it's gone up a lot. We talked about it around $12.50, I believe. And since then, we're up a good amount. We're up about 10% and then another 10% aftermarket hours. So up a good amount. Now, I plan on adding to this position a good amount this week. Now, I plan on either adding 50 to 100% of my position. Now, if you don't know what this company is, it's a payment processing company. It's very heavily invested in the iGaming space. It's very heavily focused on that. So you can see kind of what they do here. They have digital wallets, eCash, integrated payment processing. They are, again, focusing on the iGaming space. It's a very high growth industry. A lot of people think that, whether it's online gambling or whether it is just gaming, Fortnite, stuff like that, they think that it's going to double over the next 5 years or so. Now, I am pretty heavily invested in it. I think that it will do quite well. And we have seen with this company alone that there is a lot of money in it. They're running a lot of transactions. They have about $103 billion worth of transactions that they're expecting. Now, this is, I believe, for the forward year. Right now, they're looking around maybe $90 billion or so. But this is a very, very high revenue company already compared to a lot of these other SPACs. They are running at about $1.5 billion worth of revenue. Now, again, I'll tell you when I'm buying in a moment here, but they have about $1.5 billion in revenue, and they have a pretty high margin. You can see here the organic gross profit is about a 63% margin. They're almost at $1 billion worth of profit here. Now, that would put them at a pretty good PE ratio, honestly, compared to a lot of other companies. Now, Square is a comparable company. Square is a little bit different. They have about almost $100 billion market cap, but just looking at their stats here, they have a much higher revenue. They have about $7.6 billion worth of revenue. Their gross profit is about $2 billion. So their gross profit isn't that much higher for how much revenue they have. Now, I'm assuming that it is a little bit different company, that they are significantly different. I mean, they are both payment processing apps, but you can't always compare them, apples to apples. But this is probably the most comparable company. Now, that being said, one of the things that is interesting about this SPAC is that they have Foley coming on. So it's obviously Foley Trasimene acquisition, but that is one of the great things coming out of this SPAC is that they expect to increase their profit margins because this guy, Foley, has been able to bring a lot of companies' profit margins up. They expect it to go up higher. So this is a good relationship between the two companies. They do expect to get higher profit margins, higher gross profit, higher net income, all that. Now, I will say, a lot of people don't realize this, but this company was valued at about $9 billion, but they've moved up a lot, and a lot of people don't understand how this works with SPACs. Now that's moved up about 50%, well, a little bit more than 50%, about 55% from when it originated at $10. This means that the valuation is about 55% higher. So now it's being valued at about a $15 billion market cap. So now it's maybe a sixth to a seventh the size of Square. Now, I personally think this company will do really well. That is why I'm pretty heavily invested in it already. I think this could be a company that doubles or triples over the following years. Now, one thing to be cautious of, Square has moved up a lot on the year. I mean, Square is highly, highly valued right now. If we look over the 1 year, this was a $38 stock a while ago. Since then, it's 5x'd almost. You do have to account for that. I mean, this would be a $20 billion company as of 7 months ago, 8 months ago. So you do have to take that into account, that it is a very expensive company for what it does, but people are expecting it to continue to grow. Now, I think that Paysafe will do that. I think they'll be able to continue to grow. Their profit margins will go up. Their revenue will go up. I think a lot of people will catch on to it. And the thing with these SPACs is a lot of people aren't willing to invest a heavy amount before the merger's even gone through. I mean, think about if you invested $100,000 when it's $15 a share, and then the SPAC doesn't go through, you get $10 back per share. You lost $33,000. So some people aren't willing to do that, but I am. I think that this does provide a lot of upside. So if I feel strongly about a company, I will invest in it. Now, I'm almost doing like a SPAC index. Some people have pointed that out to me, that I do have a lot of different companies, but I do plan on buying more of this company this week. Now, I probably will buy earlier in the week, fully knowing that it could go down. I mean, we're coming off a weekend where there's a lot of hype on Friday, so we could see either a sell-off when the market opens, we could see it go up because a lot of people heard about it after the market closed, and maybe they don't have post-market trading hours like on WeBull. Like I said, you can check that out if you want, but obviously this came about around 5:25, 5:30, where it went up 6% just in a few minutes. So I think there will probably be some hype for people that maybe got home and maybe they work on the West Coast and they got home and saw this, or they had this on their radar and just weren't able to buy it in time. So I think that is something to pay attention to. The other thing, though, I think that is important is after the SPAC goes through, I don't know how many institutions are really willing to buy SPACs before they've gone through, but I think there will be more institutional investing after this is set. So I think that's something to keep on your radar. I think that is something that could happen where maybe some institutions want a high growth payment processing company after it actually is gone through with the SPAC merger. So that's something that I would consider. I do think that this stock could triple in the next couple of years, maybe even faster than that. But let me know your thoughts below. I really appreciate you guys watching this. Again, if you want to know exactly when I'm buying or selling it, I'm not going to sell it, but if you want to know when I'm buying it, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. If you want to get those free stocks, check out the link to WeBull. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing. And I will see you in the next video. If you want to see some other SPACs that I'm taking a look at or some other companies that I'm taking a look at and might buy more this week, you can check out this video here. Thanks.